Inside Hilltopper Athletics is brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Lynn Ullum.
Welcome to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, one of my favorite shows of the year because it's absolutely MEC tournament time. But aside from the excitement of going into that, we had a pretty big week to talk about. So, as always, joined by head coach Kyle Cooper. Coach, you got a smile on your face. Great week.
Yeah, it was a good week. You know, anytime you can go 2-0 in a week, and especially in front of the crowd, the atmosphere, the way we did it on Saturday on Senior Day against Wheeling, get a little bit of redemption for the one earlier in the year. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So heading into the tournament feeling really good, and I think our players feel the same way.
Well, it was great as a Senior Day, and of course you had two seniors, Sonia Sarda and Ari Manzay,
Yep.
Two prominent members of this year's team. So they got acknowledged with the gifts and things, honored to 2,000-point scorers, Carly McCutcheon and Ari. So that added to this day.
For sure.
But let's get into the game. What a game. So as a coach, I'm sure that it's a big deal when you look at how many people were in the crowd.
For sure. For sure. And I thought it was really impressive just how many people were in the crowd early. It wasn't, again, the overflow getting amped up for the men's game. I think what we've done is we've done a good job as, you know, a program and institution, and it dates way back to when you were leading it, of people are bought into what we're doing too, which is awesome. And the crowd, the energy, it was electric, and you're not going to find better at our level. And I think you can make a strong argument you're not going to find better in the low and mid-major D1.
Yeah, it was just, it's a special day. Now getting into the game, it didn't start the way that we wanted to, obviously. So Ari picks up her second foul very early.
Yep.
You elected to sit her as practically any coach would do. So tell me what's going through your mind in that first half.
I felt like they were doing a pretty good job against us defensively. You know, they do play that gap coverage similar to what Charleston does, and they do kind of key into certain players. And, you know, the way that they guard in the post can be effective as well. And again, we all guard different ways, but the way they do is a kind of a tough matchup for us. So they did take us out of, you know, pace early, I thought, and that made us less successful offensively. On the flip side, you know, we did some good things defensively, and then we had some moments where we just had lapses, and in turn, you know, they gap us with the lead as we head into halftime.
Right, and you had a little bit of that drought.
Yes.
At the end of the first quarter, well into the second quarter, pretty much the whole quarter. So you go in, how many we were down at the half?
I'm trying to remember. Was it 3 possessions we were down? I kind of look at the world in possessions these days.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. But so what's your halftime speech? Huge crowd, county rival, arch rivals. What are you saying at halftime?
I just kind of was referencing we needed to play with that competitive edge that we had the Wednesday before. I mean, we went to Notre Dame and we locked them down defensively. And in turn, we got to do a lot in transition, and we got to play offense the way we wanted to play it. But I felt like we didn't have that edge. I thought we were a little bit tight, and we didn't need to be. You know, we're at home. We've got the home court advantage. We've got the crowd behind us. We're a team that we know is one of the most dangerous teams in the country when we're firing in all cylinders. And kind of reminded them of that while challenging them to step up, and especially our upperclassmen to step up so the rest could follow. And to their credit, they responded.
We come out, it goes kind of back and forth, but it took forever to chip away at that lead. Still had a deficit of 13 with how much time left in the third quarter?
What was it, 4-ish? It was media-ish timeout.
So we're still down 13. The building's dead. We're all depressed.
Right.
And that just makes what happened even more special. So how did it happen? Tell me what changed the game.
I mean, I think it was a little bit of everybody just kind of staying in their lanes out there. And while we were staying in our lanes, we were also kind of owning the defensive side of the floor, meaning they were not getting easy looks for the majority of it. Some of their players that they run a lot of their sets for to get those players to their spots, as we talk about, we weren't letting them there. And then all of a sudden, you start to see some incredible shots made by great shot makers. And I think one of the things that we have to be good at as a program is we have to understand those roles. And the great shot makers start with great shot takers, and we told them start letting them fly more and more, and I think they settled into a confidence and a swagger about them, and we saw some spectacular plays. And degree of difficulty was high on some of them, but again, just showing what some of our players are capable of and just how elite they are when they're firing.
I always said, you can remember when we coached together, one of my favorite lines was, confidence can be a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So let's talk Corinne Thomas.
Yeah, I think we know how tough it is to come back from injury, especially sitting out the way that she is, and it took some time for her to get in a flow. And then all of a sudden you see the numbers like the rebounding and stuff start to come up, and then the shooting's coming up. But then I don't know what flipped with her in the game. I think a lot of it's just she trusts who she is, and she continues to buy in. But all of a sudden, one or two went in, and it got special quick, including, we all know, the play that we're probably leading up to talking right now. But it was incredible to see it, and couldn't happen to a better person and a better player.
And here's what I liked about it, and I talked about this. We didn't start making shots because Wheeling just quit playing defense.
Correct.
Wheeling still was sticking to their game plan. Corinne just backed up.
Yeah. And I think the other thing was we had some pace. Like, we were trying to do a good job of getting Carly early touches because she's become such a playmaker for us. So we weren't so reliant on our point guards just creating and our off guards. And in turn, I thought we got them a little bit off of being set defensively. But like you said, the other side of it is sometimes it's just players stepping up, and all of a sudden you start launching NBA range ones, the court gets bigger.
All right, so let's talk about a play that we'll remember for a while.
Yes.
And I say the world has a way of working itself out. So we had the crushing loss with the miracle shot at Frostburg.
Yep.
But sometimes the world just comes back around. So you're up one. You called a timeout.
Yep.
Shot clock differential, so you had to shoot. You
Right.
couldn't hold it. So take us through the play and tell us what happened.
I thought early we had an opportunity to probably attack a little bit harder and maybe go get one, but at the same time, you're trying to be cognizant of we want to burn a little clock here. But things did not go smoothly down the stretch of that. I thought both Corinne and Ari, two veteran players that play really well together, kind of got their wires crossed, but hats off to Corinne for understanding time, score, situation, shot clock, all of those things. She knew we had to get a shot up and at least give ourselves a chance. And it was incredible. I don't know if that's something Coach Seth's been working on her with or what, but I don't remember, and I'm sure if you talk to her mother, she probably didn't ever put it in when she coached her. But I don't remember the up and under left-handed runner from three.
Bang. You left out bang.
Sorry, banked shot, sitting there at whatever it was, 3:45 in the afternoon on a Saturday. But it's one of those things that it was spectacular. And you said it, sometimes things work themselves out, and we kind of say it differently in our program. Sometimes you got to make your own luck, and we haven't had a lot of it come our way in some situations, and it felt good. And I told the team after that was earned. That was earned by players doing things the right way. I think as a staff we do things the right way, and we were due for one of those moments, and man, did it feel good.
Yeah, you were absolutely due. So the shot goes in, we hold them off, win before, huge win, packed crowd. Gives you momentum going into the tournament. Let's quickly talk Wednesday.
Sure.
Nice win at Notre Dame. Just tell us a little bit about the defense.
Like I said, I thought we played with a true competitive edge, and that's something that we lacked the prior week, I thought, at times, and our players stepped up. And I think when you take that, you take the momentum of the Wheeling game going into this, and then the crowd seeing, that win, I think the momentum is definitely trending up for us as we get ready to go ahead into the MEC.
Well, we survived the Don Clegg jinx because he accompanied me to the game. And even back to when I was coaching, there's some nights at Notre Dame I'd like to forget. So it was nice to go up there and get a pair of wins. So ended up number 5 seed.
Yep.
And now we play Fairmont again Thursday night at 8:30. So thoughts preparing for Fairmont?
I think first off, you have to credit, Steph and her staff. I think they've done a good job of sticking to their guns and saying that this is the system we're going to play, and we're going to work hard at it until we get the personnel and the buy-in to do it, and they're doing it. So it's a different brand of basketball than some others in our league, meaning their style of defense is a little bit different. They're playing very free offensively, and they've got some players that can flat-out play. I don't see, if you're going into this weekend and a lover of basketball and going to be in the area, why you wouldn't want to be at the game. it should be an absolute fun game to watch. Two high-octane offenses, two different styles defensively going at each other, but some premier players, regionally and nationally out on the same court. So I'm excited for it. I know it's a tremendous challenge. We know that. We respect Fairmont in a major way, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity for our players to get back out there together.
Yeah, the good thing is they're going to run up and down the court just like you want them to. So it should be a great game. Before we get into the all-conference team, which out came yesterday, I do want to acknowledge Jenna Ricardo. Great job.
For sure. Jenna gave us a tremendous lift.
Sat a lot of the game, 7 rebounds, played great post defense.
For sure. And that's, we've been talking about it. We need players to be stars in their role. And to Jenna's credit, she's in a tough role. She's playing behind a premier post player in the country. And she's found a way to impact us in several games, but none bigger than what she was able to do against Wheeling.
And then me being a point guard guy, I want to acknowledge Sonia Sarda.
For sure.
Carried us early.
Yep.
And comes up with a 15.12 assist game.
Yep.
So a nice double-double. All right, let's talk the all-conference team. Quite an honor when you're a 12-team league and there's only 8 first-team selections. So let's first acknowledge Ari Manzay, first team.
Yeah, and again, it's a testament to everything we've been talking about all year with her. It's the buy-in, it's the work, it's the taking hard coaching. But if anybody would have said back 3 years ago when she got to us that she'd be a first-team all-conference player, and in my opinion, right there with Brianna Campbell for player of the year, and if we win a few more games, maybe she snags it. So that's collectively on us, not just on Ari. I think you would have told me we were crazy. But she's found a way to do it, and I couldn't be more proud and happy for her.
Yep, I agreed. So that's quite an honor. Carly McCutcheon, second team.
Yep.
And the numbers were there. We could argue forever that we would have loved to have got her on the first team, but second team is still quite an accomplishment.
For sure. And I think if we, in our program, she's going to be first team every day of the week. And we know there's other players that have helped make those players go, being Carly and Ari. But Carly, in my opinion, has had one of the best seasons in our league. I mean, her numbers are just off the charts. She's filling the stat sheets. She's very efficient in what she does, and she's become that player that we recruited her to be. And I can't wait. People forget she's got 2 more years with us.
Yeah, she's going to put up some numbers. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. We are excited. Reminding the viewers, Thursday night, 8:30.
Yep.
A little past my bedtime, but I'm sure
Maybe
I'll stay away.
Something.
Yes, but. Really, really excited. It's been great following your team all year, and couldn't wish you any more luck than whatever. But let's go get one.
Yes, for sure.
Or 2
Appreciate
or
you.
3.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that wraps up the first section here. We'll be back talking men's basketball after this one.
Disasters happen. Pick the team that takes care of them all. Powered by offices in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration is ready to handle any size emergency at a moment's notice. We have the right people, knowledge, and equipment to respond 24 hours a day.
I'm Kyle Cooper. When disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Hilltoppers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Inside Hilltopper Athletics is brought to you by Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. Here's your host, Lynn Ullum.
Welcome back to Inside Hilltopper Athletics, now joined by head men's coach Ben Hallett. Coach, as we just talked with Coach Cooper, we should be all smiles for this week because 2 big wins coming in, and none bigger than over arch rival Wheeling on Saturday in front of what I think is one of the bigger crowds we've had in a long time. So thoughts about the crowd, the environment?
Yeah, I thought it was, like you said, it was one of the better crowds that I've been a part of since I've been head coach. And I thought they were locked in from the get-go. And obviously we struggled there early. But, as far as the crowd, I thought it was great. And but it's no surprise to me. I think we've got the best fans in Division II. And I thought they were tremendous on Saturday.
Yeah, it just was a special environment, standing room only. And if you just looked up on the track, how many people we even had up on the track was a testament that people came out for this. Again, we're playing Wheeling, who, not to bring up bad moments, but they got us earlier in the year unexpectedly. So that had to add a little bit more of an oomph to the game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we got punked out at their place, and it was it wasn't ever close either. You know, they were up 18 at one point, and we were never really in the game down at their place. And that's what we talked about kind of going in. It was a little bit of a revenge game, and we wanted to, play the right way because we didn't play the right way down there. And I thought our guys were really excited for the game there. And, senior day, so there was a lot of emotions going into that game, but overall I thought we played okay.
Yeah, and it being a big boxing guy, I always say styles make fights, and I don't think Wheeling's a great matchup for us. They've got athleticism, they've got size, and when they're able to throw over top on the press, they're pretty difficult to contain. So you go into the half, you're down 8. The game was really, really reminiscent of what happened down there. So what are you saying at halftime? What did you talk?
Well, before we went in to talk with the team, we always meet as a coaching staff and kind of said exactly what it's like deja vu all over again. It was the same stuff was happening that happened the first time. But the one thing I felt is we were shooting not well. We were shooting, I think we were 3 of 18 from 3 at half, but the good thing about that was I thought they were all clean looks. They just weren't going in, and I know eventually shots are going to go in for us, and just told our guys to hang in there. Things are going to be okay. Just keep playing hard. And I thought the first 3 to 4 minutes of the second half were huge. I think we were down 8 going into halftime, and we tied it up very quickly. We started making some shots, and never really looked back from there.
Right. Well, that's what we talked about on the air, and the viewers probably got tired of hearing me say it. But I bet I told Dawn 10 times that we're still below 40% shooting. We can't buy one from 3, but you're right. We were getting the looks. It wasn't so much shot selection. It was sometimes you can't knock a shot down. And I think personally, and I want to see if you agree with this, to me, the key to this victory was you erased the 8-point lead in the first 90 seconds.
Yeah, and that's what, it was huge. And the one thing we also told our team in halftime, going back to last question, was no panic, zero panic, and there was no panic on our team from our guys, and they just kind of stuck to the game plan, and it always helps when you start making some shots, right? Like we saw a couple threes go in, and I think making shots is contagious, and other guys started making some shots, and but I give Wheeling a ton of credit. They are a tough matchup for us, and they are physical, and they are big, and I thought they had a good game plan, and I got done talking to Chris the next day, the head coach at Wheeling, and said, I'm glad, you're on the other side of the bracket. I think you're a very dangerous matchup, not only for us, but for any team you're going to play.
Yeah, I think so too. And I do want to mention one more thing about the big comeback in the second half, which resulted in a win. Aside from making up the deficit and actually took a lead in that first 90 seconds, is we actually went back down again by 4 and didn't panic.
Yeah.
They ran it off. I think it was 64-60. We quickly got back into rhythm. So you answered the bell a couple times, and then I think the defense got better. You're back to making shots again, and you ended up, I don't want to say it was a comfortable win. It was about double digits, but a good game to prepare you for the tournament.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that second half play was we were finally able to get a couple stops. And I think offensively we're pretty good in transition. And in order to be good in transition, you've got to get stops on the defensive side of the floor. And we did that. And then we got some clean looks there in transition, and we knocked them down.
Okay, here's a question for you. Wheeling elected to use Marcus Johnson as their primary ball handler in the second half. You had Steve on him. Was that by design, or did it just work out?
We try to keep our guards in the denial positions. We always try, and again, I did it for 4 years. I was a deny guy. I wasn't very good at it, but I did it. And it's really hard to do that. It's hard to deny somebody the basketball. So we always try to keep our guards at the top of the press. And we try to keep our quote-unquote big guys in the back of the press. And it was by design to keep, Steve on Marcus Johnson. And I tell you what, that kid's really skilled. He is a really good player, and he's skilled, and he's actually improved, I think, with his low post moves too, his step throughs and up and under. I think that kid's a really good player.
Yeah, I do too, but I'm hoping that it wore him out a little bit, meaning he had to bring the ball up, and we had a little bit more in the tank going down the stretch, it ended up with a huge win, a comeback win, a revenge win, whatever you want to call it. Before we talk about Notre Dame, just briefly, tell me the seniors that were honored on senior night.
So we have some guys with eligibility left, but we told them if you don't know, just go ahead and walk. So Bryce Butler, Michael Sampson, Christian Montague, Malik McKinney, and Steve Candaday all walked. 3 of those guys have eligibility left. 2 of them are done with eligibility, and Malik McKinney and Steve Candaday. So those 2 guys, and Malik has been here for 4 years now. He transferred in from Seton Hill and got really close with him and his family, and he's improved so much. When he first got here, we were just talking about this yesterday, I think he turned the ball over maybe 10 times a game in practice, just throwing the ball over the place, and he's gotten so much better in all aspects of our system. And Steve Candaday comes in with 1 year left and picks things up so fast. And you're always kind of wonder about 1-year guys, but we're very fortunate to have him because he is well liked not only amongst his teammates but amongst the coaches as well.
Yeah, and I want to talk. I don't like talking. We always vow that we're going to stay away from individuals too much because we obviously win as a team. But boy, did Malik carry us in that game a little bit the other day when we were struggling.
Yeah, made some big shots.
Yeah,
made
hit
some big threes.
Some huge shots. So let's quickly talk Wednesday night, travel to Euclid, play Notre Dame. Just quick thoughts on that game.
Yeah, always a tough place to play. They've gotten us a few times in their arena there, and that's what we talked about going in. Is it's going to be a tough game, smaller venue, but they've got the crowd right on top of you there. And I thought the second half of that game was the best we've played all year, and I thought our press really affected them, not only physically but mentally, really affected them. And I thought we shared the ball extremely well, and offensively we got a lot of easy shots. And we looked up at an immediate timeout, and we were up 40 on I think is a really good Notre Dame team that was sitting 16-10. I'm thinking, holy cow, we're playing really well, and got a really good win there.
Well, I'll tell you a story because it was standing room only in that gym, and Dawn and I had to sit courtside down by you, and you didn't let me call any plays or anything, but that's another discussion. But I can remember looking up right around the media timeout in the second half, and we were up 11. It was 51-40, and I'm thinking, I'm starting to get a little nervous. Like, we can't shake these guys. And very similar to last year's game where we lost, and 5 minutes later I looked up, we were on a 27-0 run, and it's probably the best 4 or 5 minutes of press that I've seen.
Yeah, they had a tough time getting the ball in bounds, and that's a team with really good guards that a lot of times gives us trouble pressing those guys. But I thought our guys were locked in, and I thought the energy was incredible there.
Let's quickly. I don't want to really talk about your matchup in the tournament. You play the winner of AB Concord.
Correct.
I'm not going to put you on the spot. We're not going to make bulletin board. So you're preparing for both teams, obviously. But let's jump ahead. The all-conference team came out today. Bryce Butler, Player of the Year. So talk briefly about Bryce.
I thought it was a no-brainer, very deserving. And the cool thing about that is, and obviously it's a tremendous honor for Bryce, but it really doesn't matter. He's so into this team and he's so into winning that the Player of the Year award doesn't matter to him right now. I'm sure it will when he's done playing basketball, but he is just so locked into this team and to trying to win this Mountain East Conference tournament that really doesn't matter to him right now. And but again, super proud of him, very well deserving, and had a great year for us.
Yeah, and when you play in an offensive heavy league like the Mountain East Conference is on both the men and women's, it's sometimes hard to get multiple kids on first team. So Christian Montague and Malik both earned second team honors. So quickly talk.
Yeah, super proud of those 2 guys. I think that's very well deserving as well. Both guys have had a lot of impact on our successful season so far. I think both of those guys have your reputation of being great defenders amongst other coaches, and I think both of those guys have had a great offensive year as well, and couldn't be more proud of my 2 guards than I am of those 2 guys.
Right, and when you win a regular season championship with a 3-game edge, obviously it's way more about the team. It's great that these guys get recognized, and I couldn't be more proud of them either. But they've got supportive teammates that play the right way that enable us to do these things. So.
Yeah, they would be the first to tell you that too. That's the cool thing about this group is they're not into, awards or their personal statistics. They're into winning, and they're into the team.
Well, that's going to wrap it up, Coach. Good luck this week. MEC Tournament, West Banco Arena. Hopefully the crowd will come out because it's been packed the last several years. I would also remind our viewers out there for both the men and women's games, Topper Takeover at River City a couple hours before the game. So come out, say hello to us, mingle, and get prepared to go cheer both of our teams on. That wraps up this week inside Hilltopper Athletics. Let's hope that we can capture a conference championship.
Thank you, Coach.
Disasters happen. Pick the team that takes care of them all. Powered by offices in Wheeling, Morgantown, and Pittsburgh, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration is ready to handle any size emergency at a moment's notice. We have the right people, knowledge, and equipment to respond 24 hours a day.
I'm Ben Hallett. When disaster strikes your home or business, tell your insurance provider you prefer the restoration company the Hilltoppers call, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Hi, I'm Liliana Hart, and I'm a studio art major here at West Liberty, and I'm going to show you what it's like to be in this program. So my first class today is intermediate painting with Mr. Fensel. Studio art as a major is just about creating that exponential growth as an artist. It gives you a community of artists around you, and it's unique in its ability to curate your classes on how you want to advance as an artist. There's crossover between 3D, 2D, even if you are on the main 3D or 2D track. So in intermediate painting, we were exploring abstract work, which is a challenge for me because my art is never really abstract, but that's just another way that these classes challenge you. I really learned more about my art and myself. I'm headed to my second class of the day, which is silkscreen production with Professor Matusiak. This major is perfect for those who want to become full-time artists or practicing artists, and as well as those who want to advance into a Master's of Arts program. I chose this major because my goal is to teach art in a higher academia setting at an arts college or university, and this program allows me to build upon my skill and gives me opportunities to advance my ability to apply to master's programs that I'm considering and grow overall as an artist. So now I'm heading into a meeting with my advisor, Pencil.
So what I just kind of want to talk to you about today is, so you got a deadline coming up, February 19th, to apply to the academy.
One of the things that we've been working on lately, my advisor and I, is the New York Academy of Art Summer Intensive Program, which I would not have been aware of if not for Professor Fensel. One of the main reasons I want to apply is because they focus a lot on anatomy and portraiture as a whole, which is one of my favorite things to do as an artist, and I would love to just push myself to another level within that. He really has helped me in curating what I want to create for my portfolio for this program. He's been very instrumental in my journey to complete this process. So now I'm in the ceramics lab, which is in Christ Hall, and I'm doing some studio time. So while I chose the 2D track, I did want to explore 3D in some realm, and you do have the ability to curate your classes, which allowed me to take ceramics. And when I explored that, I found it really relaxing and motivating into pushing myself into other art forms that I had never considered. So tonight is the faculty exhibition at the Nutting Gallery, and I'm gonna go check it out. So one of my favorite things about the professors in this program is just how talented they are. seeing their work in exhibitions like the annual faculty exhibition is just very inspiring. And they are also extremely committed to helping you reach your goals and assisting you in class, as well as your own personal work. A couple of times I've brought my own work into professors and they have assisted me on how to move forward. Thank you for checking out the program with me. For more information, go to our website.
My name is Odessa Juarez. I am a fifth-year senior here at West Liberty University. I am a theater major with a costuming minor. My most recent show would have been Peter and the Starcatcher, where I played Smee, and recently we took that show to the KCACTF Theater Festival run by the Kennedy Center out in Washington, D.C., to Westchester University in Philadelphia. It is an honor to be invited to go because only a certain number of shows get invited to perform at the KCACTF Festival. It's an undescribable experience, an opportunity for somebody going into the world of theater. And Kennedy Center really drives home the thought of there is more to theater than just standing on stage and saying a couple words at a few people.
Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chatting the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let her tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch me, please use caution. Stop that. Stop that.
Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey Kyle and I'm the head acrobatics and tumbling coach here at West Liberty University. I'm so excited to share with you all that we have been selected to host the 2023 Acrobatics and Tumbling National Championship right here in the ASRC. The tournament will be April 27th through the 29th. For more information, check out hilltoppersports.com or West Liberty Athletics on all social media. Go Toppers!